All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GSL. It's GomTV StarCraft 2 League or Global StarCraft 2 League, whichever you prefer to have the G stand for. This is the up and down matches, and we are going to be moving into Game 3. Man, yeah. Game 2 was just fantastic. Sorry you guys missed it during that break. It was the double proxy rush, and no, I'm just kidding.
Double
it's just
proxy
gonna take
hatchery versus...
Exactly. It's just gonna it's gonna take so long to get Xenio's computer set up that we're actually just gonna skip to match number 3, game number 3, and then we'll go back and play Xenio versus Gumiho at a later time.
Since Genius was already set up and Sage was already preparing and he's now set up, we're just going to skip into going into yet another PvP. It's going to be Genius versus Sage.
Yep.
And the Golem Wizard's back in the background. He's like summoning with all his might to bring the new computer for Xenio, but it could take some time.
It could take a while indeed, but he is on it, and hopefully we'll have a nice macro-y Protoss versus Protoss.
Yeah.
Take a while, give him some time to set up Xenio's computer.
Our
nice
first PvP was on Dual Site. Now this one is going to be on Crossfire. Crossfire, a map where Colossi are very strong. We saw it last time Genius played PvP on this map. He actually went for Speed Immortal drops, which were not actually very effective, and he played against none other than Sage on this very same map.
Oh, yes.
And so we're going to have a rematch here
on
Crossfire, and I don't think we're going to see Immortal drops, but what we did see was Genius making a very faster switch to Colossi, and that's how he was able to come out on top against Sage. We'll see if he can do it again here at the GSL up and down matches. The map is loaded. Are you ready, Moltrap?
I am ready indeed. I was born ready. Came out of my mother's womb thinking, I want to watch Protoss versus Protoss.
All right,
I'm finally going to get my wish. Here we go.
I came out of my mother's womb ready to play Protoss, man. Done that all my life.
And this guy came straight out of the beta, definitely ready to play StarCraft 2. He is...
MVPGS.
Yep, our BlizzCon champion.
BlizzCon champion, and for another 5 days.
Yeah.
There he is. Very strong player early on in StarCraft 2. And here is his opponent, an up-and-comer.
NS versus Sage.
Up-and-comer who is...
He's a fan favorite and an Artosis favorite.
And a Tosis favorite, but not a statistical favorite.
No.
The numbers say that Sage is going down in this game.
That's what they do say indeed.
Sage checking his base for proxies.
Gotta be careful, man. You never know when a genius is gonna do something really smart.
It's true.
The smarter choice, of course, in this case is to make a gateway at a normal timing and take an assimilator inside of one's own base.
I think Sage started everything a probe earlier, though. Because his gateway and his assimilator finished a little bit earlier, and I saw him at 14 and 15. So not really too big of a deal, but sometimes it makes a little bit of a difference.
As the gateway's finishing within a second of each other, the assimilator done much quicker for Sage, however. Although he did not put his probes in it immediately, so actually they're both at the exact same amount of gas.
There you go.
Giving you guys all the technical info on the exact build orders here.
Well, we're probably going to see the similar thing to last game, where both players don't really reveal what they're going to go for until after they've got a stalker out to chase the enemy probe away.
Sage did get his second gas much faster than Genius. In fact, he's already mining from him, whereas Genius is only taking a second gas right now, so a super early second gas for Sage, and he started his second gateway. He's actually doing a build order that is called the 3-Stalker Rush, most likely. First Stalker coming out here, he's going to Chrono Boost it. He's actually Chrono Boosted his Warp Gate Research instead, interesting. And it's a common PvP build. You get your gateway, and you get a second gateway after your core, and then you Chrono Boost out 3 Stalkers. But in this case, Sage is actually Chrono Boosting his Warp Gate Research, not Chrono Boosting the Stalkers. But when you get those 3 Stalkers out, you use them to control the area around your natural, make sure there are no pylons, kill any units your opponent might be using in the middle of the map, because 3 Stalkers beat a Zealot, a Stalker, and a Probe, which is what you often see.
Yeah. And yeah, even if they do have 2 Stalkers out a little bit after that, then Still obviously micro against that. If they have the Zealot, you can just micro away from the Zealot.
Now, Genius has made a robotics facility off of just one gate. He's probably going to add some additional gateways just to be safe. I'm really curious to see what we're going to see from Sage, though, as he has not yet shown anything. He's got a probe poised to take a fast Nexus. We may, in fact, see that. Something that's becoming more popular, but it's very difficult to pull up, especially on a map like this one. And he does take the Nexus.
It's interesting because he showed the 2 gateways to Genius.
Very true.
So he showed him those gateways, and so he's thinking, all right, well, Genius now thinks I'm going to 3 Stalker Rush, or Genius at least thinks I'm going to be going for a more aggressive build. So now that he's no longer here, I'm going to take that Nexus that he won't expect me to take.
And also, keep in mind, Genius was able to see the super fast second gas, I believe.
I believe so,
yeah. He was able to see that. So, because he was able to see that second gas, he's going to think, that's why he made his Robo so quickly. He was like, well, even though my second gas was later, I can actually skip a sentry here and just make my Robo because I know you're not going to 4-gate me. You're not putting a lot of real pressure on me early. So now he's just going to kind of sit back, tech up. He's making it immortal right now as he adds another gateway. He's probably going to push out and be a little bit aggressive, but Sage may have enough to hold. He's actually adding a robotic support bay right now as well, and we're probably going to see Genius actually go for a 2 Colossus timing attack. It's a really good map for that. You can use that high ground right outside the natural to bring your Colossi back up so you can keep poking the Nexus, then running back up there, and continue that type of pressure. I think that's what we're going to see.
Yep, and Genius's Observer, that's what they're called, just arrives and scouts that expansion from Sage, so he knows exactly what's going on. And yeah, if he just gets 2 really quick Colossi and moves across, I don't think Sage will quite have been able to make use of that expansion enough. It's going to be a little bit close because Sage is starting to mine from that expansion.
Yeah, he is making an Observer right now. He's going to want to start an Immortal immediately. He has gone up to 4 gates as well, so that's going to be really helpful in holding this. And Immortals now with their new range are going to do a little bit better against Colossi, but if Genius makes only Zealots and Colossi and then attacks, it's going to be really easy for him to punish Sage for what he's done here. Sage actually making a Twilight Council now. Does start an Immortal as well.
Huh. Sage is kind of going a couple different techs. He's getting that Immortal out, but also going for the Twilight Council. Now, he... Actually, does Sage know anything about what Genius's build? Is he...
He actually has no idea.
He has no idea if he has Robotech or anything like that.
That's why he had to make that Observer before the Immortal. And he's going to come in here, he's going to see the Colossus, he's going to see the Chrono Boost on that Robotics, and he's going to actually know immediately, oh no, this is actually going to be so difficult to hold. Now, we're getting a shot of the other base, but in the main base now of Genius, Sage has actually seen everything with that Observer. He did not, however, see the units moving out. So he only saw the tech, saw the robotic support base, saw the Chrono Boost on the Robo, and he knows something is coming, and look at how few units he has. This is going to be so difficult for him to hold.
He has almost no units, does he? Okay, there's a couple more Stalkers in the middle of the map. They almost get caught off guard. That would have been almost the end for Sage if he'd lost those 2 Stalkers, aside from the others. But the second Colossus is out. He's rallying it forward to the rest of his troops, and whoa, Sage going for a Warp Prism.
He's going to use that Warp Prism to try to drop his Colossi behind the Colossi, or drop his Immortals rather behind the Colossi. It's not going to be easy, and Genius can control this engagement with his Force Fields right now because Sage has nothing to deal with those. Yeah. And look at this positioning though by Sage. He's actually making it so that Genius does not want to engage. He can't engage up that ramp without using his Colossi to step on the Force Fields, and when that happens, of course, the Immortals are going to do a lot of damage to the Colossus.
Yep, so Genius is actually going to go around.
There are those Immortals in that Warp Prism. Yeah, Genius, like you're saying, is going to go around to the other side, and that Warp Prism is trying to move into place here. It's going to be so hard for Sage to hold this.
Oh,
Can
this
he
is gonna
do
be
it?
Tough. He's got a significant amount of Stalkers, but those Colossi are going to eat through them very quickly. He goes to the back with the Immortals. He's going to take out the Pylon. Not quite able to get that Pylon, but he does have the high ground. He can take out some Stalkers.
Wow, gets 1 Stalker and lifts up, taking no real damage to those units. He's going to attack forward here. He's got a pretty good concave. The Immortal doing damage to the Colossus, but it looks like Genius may have too much. His Zealots are running past everything here. The Immortals dropped again on top of the Colossi, but the Zealots alone are doing enough damage, I think, to kill Sage here.
Oh, wow. Very good control with those Immortals from Sage, but he's just not able to hold off. He does drop them out, finally loses the Immortals, and Genius able to overrun him. Sage, GG's.
And that just
Leads the
shows that
game.
standard play sometimes can win out. Genius just made 2 Colossi and attacked exactly as I predicted. I mean, when you see that Nexus, that's what you do, man. You make 2 Colossi and attack. You didn't even need range. You didn't even need it. And as you guys saw, the Zealots were actually the real damage dealers there. Even though the Immortals were really cute, they dropped down damage to Colossi. Genius had a micro the back. They didn't participate that much, but the Zealots alone were just enough to really take that game.
Yeah, it was almost a good idea because Genius didn't have any stalkers to actually attack the Warp Prism. So the Warp Prism could just fly around and kind of do whatever it wanted. And yeah, he had really good control with the Immortals, dropping them out, picking back up again, getting some shots off on the Colossi. He actually took out one of the Colossi, forced it to run around and not take shots for a while because of that. But just too much damage being dealt. The Zealots backed him into a corner. He got hit by the Colossus shots with all of his stalkers. Just didn't have enough there.
One of the riskiest expansions I've ever seen to do on a map like this. And one of the other decisions he made that we didn't really talk about is he made a Twilight Council. Was not able to use it, however.
Yeah, what was with the Twilight Council?
He wanted to use the Twilight Council to get Blink and be more mobile, and he didn't yet know what Genius was doing. He didn't know if Genius had an expansion. He didn't know if he was going Robotech. He didn't know if Genius was also going Blink Tech.
That's true.
Because if he's also going Blink Tech, then he needs his own Blink eventually as well. So as soon as he got into his base, he was like, well, now I just can't use this Twilight Council. And that was just that.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. It was kind of like a thing where he's like, all right, well, I'm going to get this Twilight Council and then decide what to do with it once I see what he has. And then once he saw what he has, he said, oh, I've found out that I can't use this Twilight Council, really. It's going to be too slow to get Blink. Maybe if he'd seen Twilight Council tech if he was going for Blink, he might have gone for a Dark Shrine or something like that. So that was kind of a cool idea to, like, send out the Observer to scout and then be like, all right, well, based on what I see, I'll either get Blink or Dark Templar or something like that. But you know what? Big timing attack from Genius. Rolls him over. Sage is now 0-1. Genius is now 1-1. Losing the first game against Puzzle. And then technically winning the third game. Even though we played the third game before the second game. But here we go. Game 2 is going to be starting here very soon. Finally, Gumio versus Zenio.
Zenio versus Gumio. The towel Terran, you guys just saw him wipe his hands, so that same towel he's now placed it over his mouse. You guys can see a little glimpse of it right next to the white part of match 2 there. There it is. It's the towel Terran.
So weird.
So cool, man.
It's kind of cool, I guess, but it seems like it wouldn't actually help. Like, for me, I feel like get in the way and get under my mouse and make it harder for me to move. But we're going to see if the Towel Terran can triumph here in just a second. GSL up and down matches. About to start game number 2.